I don't know how the Hodge twins do it. Their intro, like in the beginning of all of their videos, you have one of the twins go like, "Yeah," and I tried to replicate that, but they sound so badly. They sound like they've chugged down 6 buckets of testosterone, like as a man transitioning into another man. You know, I just can't do that. Whenever I do the yeah, I sound like a squeaky little chick. I can't. I don't know how to do it, chat. Despite my best efforts, I can't do the yeah. Anyway, right. Welcome to the show. How's it going? We're going to have an interesting discussion today about Mr. Disrespect. It's a really interesting name, though. I like it. The nickname, I mean. It's Dr. Disrespect, right? It's not just disrespect. He's a doctor. Like, he's got a PhD in disrespecting people. That's pretty cool. Yeah, happy Saturday. Welcome, Julia the Apostate. Thank you for being a member for so long. I do have an issue with members, though. Like, there's this guy got into my Discord. He's a backer for my project, and he got banned. And I'm looking at the ban list, and he isn't banned. And he's, like, saying, like, unban me. And I'm like, dude, I can't. You're not banned. Well, that's going to be interesting to fix. But, yeah. My God, the Dr. Disrespect thing is so interesting. Like, I can hardly wait to talk about it. I just want more people to join the chat before we do. Very about Shiroi, like one of the most interesting things that happened the entire week. And it's also due to the fact that I was speculating on the ban, and it seems that I may have been right. But at the same time, like this is a little sus. It's a little sus, and I'll explain to you why that is in a bit. But first, a word from the people that I would never take up as sponsors. Ever. Fucking hell, look at this shit. These are gaming manuals, right? Like you buy these, and they don't have anything besides how to play the game. $179 fucking dollars. To be fair, I will give them this. It's not that expensive compared to Ubi shit. Like, this is how much video games cost nowadays, right? But, like, my university textbooks, my medical university textbooks, you read them in order to learn how to save lives, okay? They were cheaper than this. I just want you to understand, like, the more progressive a company goes, like, what is progressive? Oh, we're for social justice. Oh, the marginalized voices, what would they do without us? I think the marginalized voices would appreciate a good product that's also affordable. Right? Like the same people that are like, oh, it's racist to ask for ID because how would minorities gather the money necessary to pay those $20? But apparently, right, this is about inclusivity. It's like, oh, this is what minorities like. Well, you know, if minorities buy video games like this, sorry, if minorities spend this amount of cash for entertainment, all of a sudden the Democrats' argument makes sense. Because, yeah, if I was to be a Dungeons and Dragons enjoyer and I would buy this shit, I wouldn't have money to buy an ID either. Who the fuck would? I mean, look at it. It's $180 fucking dollars. I love the fact that it's $179.97. Like, why not 99 like normal people? And by the way, just so you can understand, this is the bundle, right? Like, this is, you're missing out. You're missing out if you're not buying the bundle because the actual shit is valued at $240, right? So if you buy the bundle, you get the discount. Otherwise, you're missing out. I want you to understand, they hire people, right? Like, they hire a team of specialists to know how to fuck with the customer. To know it's like, okay, how can we con the customer in paying us as much money as possible? This is why they're going broke, by the way. The product isn't better. It's not improving. The price is not going down. Everything is shit. We're paying for entertainment that's miles more expensive than what we used to pay. And the quality is miles below what we used to have. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. And especially after the orcs as just normal people, and now we have barista dwarves. Hold on, let me see if I can pick up the picture, because this picture was just baffling when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck? Where did I save it? Holy shit. I know I saved it somewhere. I just need a couple of seconds to find it. Where is the barista as dwarves? Like, that was, fuck, I didn't save it. Okay, so you literally have, like, a dwarf that is carrying some, beverages which look like coffee. And I'm thinking, like, okay, so basically what Dungeons and Dragons is doing now is that it's turning all the fantasy races into people, right? Like, it's literally that, right? So if you look at the orcs, well, now they look like this. And the question is, like, what is the fantasy? Like, what exactly are you saying? This is like, you can literally replace this with humans, and it's the same fucking picture. So what is the point in having, like, a completely different alien race? Because, you know, despite the fact that they're called races, they're actually, like, different entities. It's a completely different creature, like an orc, an elf, and a dwarf. You know, they're completely different. It's not like race in the sense of, oh, a white person and a black person. It's completely different. And the whole purpose is to cause drama, right? Because, like, the orcs have their own culture and their own way of being. The elves have their own. And it's like, how do they get together to work against the common enemy? That creates drama. It sparks tension. But no. Now they're normal people and they cost $200. Man, it pisses me off. I know I should be more calm, but, like, I actually have passion for these things because I genuinely enjoy this stuff. So, yeah. Hi V, hope your day is good. Twitch is perking again. Right, so let's get into the meaty gritty, right? Is this what the Americans say, meaty gritty? Let's get into the meaty gritty. Dr. Disrespect, I already made a video on my secondary channel, but just in case you haven't watched it, I'll repeat what I said there. He's a very popular Twitch streamer. One of the most popular, actually. And he had millions of subscribers. So much so that Twitch itself makes a contract with him so that if he keeps streaming on the platform exclusively, he gets millions of dollars, right? So they signed the contract, and a couple of weeks after they signed the contract, the man gets banned. And it's interesting because he got banned and no reason was given whatsoever. Now people noticed the fact that before he got banned, he looked at the chat and he was white as a ghost. Like, he saw something in that chat that made him know that it's over. Like, his career on Twitch, done. And yay and behold, after he closes the chat, we get the message that he got permanently banned for major violations of the TOS. But they don't elaborate. They don't say what happened. They don't say anything. And people were speculating. Some people were saying that, well, for a while, there were rumors that him and Ninja and other streamers were trying to create their own alternative to Twitch. And maybe that's why Twitch banned them. I personally said that due to the fact that he looked at the comment section, there was something there, like someone threatened him with some shit that let him know that it's over. So the only thing that could potentially be is inappropriate contact with a minor, right? So, like, anything inappropriate, any type of chat logs, either that or some sexual misconduct of something or another. Like, that was my opinion. That's what I thought is going to be the thing. Now, years later, we find out, and this was like last week, that one of the Twitch not moderators, right? One of the people that work at Twitch come out and say that, the reason he got banned is because he got caught sexting a minor in the existing Twitch Whisper product, and he was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon, the powers that could be read in plain text. Now, usually I don't believe these types of allegations. I mean, there is no proof here, right? But the reason that I'm willing to actually say that there may be something here, I'm not saying there is, I'm just saying, well, this is a little bit different than other accusations, simply because people know who this guy is. Like, he's been working for Twitch for years. We know the name of the guy. So if he says something like this, either he has some really amazing lawyers, or he's got like some bulletproof burden of proof. So he's got like some ironclad evidence. There is no in between, right? Well, actually there is. Like, he's working at Twitch, so, you know, like, people who work at Twitch aren't exactly in their full mental faculty, so there can be that as well. But the thing is, like, Dr. Disrespect comes out and he basically says that, I get it, it's a hot topic, but this has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged. So notice how Dr. Disrespect isn't denying it, right? That's the argument that people are in favor of believing this. This is what they say. Now, the people who aren't in favor of believing this have also an interesting narrative. So, if you look at Dr. Disrespect's behavior, it's only recently that he's starting to discuss against LGBTQ for kids, right? So only recently did he join on this bandwagon, and he's not in favor of it. And there's also another Twitch streamer by the name of Nick Merckx, I think. And he basically says that he doesn't believe that a man can become a woman. That's what he said live, and Dr. Disrespect agrees with that. So all of a sudden, right, like when that is happening, now, like after years of this existing, like after years of everyone knowing, this bomb drops, which is very interesting, right? So like there's two explanations for this. Number one, the bomb is fake, right? Which is like just dropping it for the sake of, like hurting another content creator. And the second one is like the bomb is real, but they kept it for all this time. Like for all this time, like this is criminal misconduct if it's true, right? And for all this time, like Twitch was keeping it hidden. They didn't want to go public with it. And now that Dr. Disrespect is upsetting certain communities, now the accusation is revealed, right? Like, why couldn't they reveal it for all this time? Like, what was preventing them from talking about it literally after Dr. Disrespect got banned? Why couldn't they talk about it last year? Why couldn't they talk about it 2 years ago? Why is it that it's being labeled now? And it's also revealed like, I know what you did, right? So, if that's the case, both parties are despicable. Twitch as well, and the people there, and Dr. Disrespect for doing it if it turns out to be true. Because again, we don't know. We don't know the logs. We don't know anything. We don't know the person involved. We don't know the context. Like, what exactly did he say? How old was this person? We don't know. So yeah, like we genuinely have no clue what happened. It's also it's also weird. Like, my God, I keep telling this to content creators all the fucking time. I've been telling them for years since I started my career. If you are over the age of 25, right? So like if you're a content creator that's older than 25, and this applies to men and women, by the way, it's not just a man thing. But if you're over the age of 25, the very moment that someone under the age of 18 messages you for whatever fucking reason, I don't care if their computer is on fire and they need help. I don't care, okay? Block them. Block them. You're a content creator. What the fuck are you thinking? You have absolutely no business, none whatsoever, interacting with people under the age of 18. Look at YouTube. If you make videos for kids, they disable the comment section. It's like, this shouldn't even be up for debate. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever for a content creator that's above the age of 25 to have any type of conversations with people under the age of 18. I wouldn't do it even in public or private. It's like, no, just no. It's like, it's a recipe for disaster. I have seen so many careers ended. Sometimes, the person may go, oh, well, the logs were taken out of context. Oh, we were just joking, or we were... No, that shouldn't have happened. You shouldn't have spoke with the person. Women can get away with it. I do say that society is a little bit more tolerant in that regards. I mean, South Park made an entire episode with the nice thing. Like being enveloped is different than being penetrated. So like society acts differently, especially because there's a lot of guys out there who really can't empathize because when they were young, they had a crush on Miss Keen or whatever. But I do think that is a wrong mentality to have, because the last thing you want is little Billy getting Miss Keen pregnant. And it's not okay to assume that just because when you were a teenager, you were lusting after Miss Keen, it's not okay to assume that other men are like that as well, right? Like, Miss Keen is a grown-ass adult, and she should stay away from children. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever for a mature woman to be with a child. But unfortunately, however, I do agree, society does not treat it as bad. I have seen many cases in the media where it has happened that people are like nice. But I have also spoke with men that unfortunately did get molested either by their babysitter or their teacher, and they have been emotionally scarred. And it's very difficult for them to talk about it. It's very difficult for them to find any sort of compassion and empathy because everyone looks at it and they say nice. And it's not nice. It's definitely not. Those women stole something from those kids. They stole their innocence. And it's definitely not something that I, as a future father, would prefer to hear that has happened to my son. So, yeah, that 100% not nice. but yeah, I have seen cases where it happened to female content creators and they got, they didn't get as canceled as the guys, but they did get backlash. So, my advice remains, if you're over the age of 25, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever to discuss anything with a person under the age of 18 on the internet, ever. Preferably, you shouldn't do it in real life as well. In fact, I actually remember this, I told this story before, because it's kind of hilarious, but when Pokemon Go came out, I was a big fan of the game. And there was this park where everyone was playing Pokemon Go, right? Now, unfortunately, most people that were playing Pokemon Go were teenagers. And I was one of I can't say like the elderly men there, but like I was definitely one of the more mature individuals in the park. And all of a sudden, this kid comes up and wants to do the duel. And I'm like, no, fuck off, you know? And I didn't know how to say it respectfully so that I don't get in trouble with his parents for cursing. But it's like, you know, if you are my kid, you would get a whooping. Why are you talking to strangers? Just stop talking to strangers. Leave me alone. Yeah, it's a good code, you know? Like, you need to defend yourself against accusations that may come from uncharitable people. Like, I have seen so many cases on the internet where chat logs or audio clips or sound bites are taken out of context. And when they're taken out of context, usually it takes a while for the person to reestablish reputation. Sometimes it takes even more for the person to prove their innocence. And that's if people are willing to listen, right? But when it comes to like this type of subject matter, people are very less likely to listen. And if that's the case, the best thing you can do is just avoid being in that situation to begin with. Just don't talk with anyone that's under the age of 18. That includes people that are 16 and 18. Even if you're from a country and a culture where 16 and 18 is considered acceptable, right? So like for instance in Romania, up until recently, the age of consent was 16. They changed it now. I think it's, they keep saying it on the radio that it's 18 with the exception if the age difference between the people doing it is 5 years. So like if the person is 16 and the guy is 20, it's still legal, right? But even if that's the case, right? Like even if you're in a country where 16 is legal, it doesn't matter. All right? Like it doesn't matter. You're on the internet, you're trying to make a career. Don't normalize this shit. Not everyone agrees with it. Just stay away from it. Right? Like just the best solution is to Mike Pence it, right? Get married in real life and be like Ninja. Like Ninja knows. Ninja doesn't want to play Fortnite with other women. And Ninja is like, well, I'm married. I don't want to play Fortnite with any of the other women. It's like Mike Pence. You know, Mike Pence is married. He doesn't want to have dinner with other women. And yeah, like if you're a content creator and you're married, maybe you shouldn't talk with women as well. Although it's a little bit harsh, I will say this. But if you're like a person that has got like millions of viewers on the internet and you're like hyper popular, if you start talking with women or playing video games with women and shit, like rumors will eventually spread. Like there will be something that will cause rumors and it will probably make your wife feel bad. So that's why Ninja is deciding not to interact. I think like PewDiePie had the same stance as well. Like it's basically you need to understand if you're a content creator, you're not just like an average citizen anymore. You're like a micro celebrity, right? Like you're not a Hollywood actor. Well, actually, you know what? Fuck it. You're actually better than a Hollywood actor because like no one fucking knows the names of Hollywood actors anymore. Like I would put Hollywood actors now literally underneath e-celebs. Like Dr. Disrespect is far more popular than whomever that chick in The Acolyte is. I don't even know her fucking name. But yeah, like if you manage to get like 1 million subs or something like that, like you need to understand when you're in the internet, you're not at the bar with your friends anymore. Like you are a public personality and everything you say, it may not have consequences now, but like 5 years down the line, someone can pull up the soundbite and completely ruin your life. And you may say something innocuous, like something that doesn't really shock people, but if someone like pulls like 10 or 20 sound bites from like different conversations, then it makes it weird. right? So like, by example, if you have like a person that doesn't follow what I say, and they're like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to talk to people that are under the age of 18. Like, it's fine. If they message me, I'll respond to them, okay? All it needs is like someone to gather all the logs where you're talking to people under the age of 18, and they find like 5 or 6 logs differently, and then they compile it into a big picture, and it looks bad, right? Just don't fucking do it. Just don't fucking do it. It's not that difficult. Mike Pence does have a point, yes. And streamers are the new celebrities. I would agree. Like there are more young people that know who Ninja is, they know who Iron Mouse is, but they have no fucking idea who the new Hollywood actors are. Like they're looking at Fallout, and you're showing them some actors from there. They have no clue what their names are. They've no clue what other movies they played with. They don't fucking care. What other advice I would offer to new creators? Oh Jesus, I don't fucking know, man. Like it's too much to say. It depends on what though. Personally, I think consistency is the most important. Just keep at it, right? That is a story of this guy who was a Twitch streamer, is insanely popular now. But like he was streaming, I think for like 2 years, to literally just one guy. So every time he was streaming, this one guy would come in and watch him. And that was it. That was his chat, right? Like it was just this one guy in the chat. And he would play video games. And even when the one guy wasn't there, he was still talking to the chat because he wanted to practice. And yay and behold, he does some shit, video goes viral, and now he's one of the most popular Twitch streamers. And I think he actually donated like $10,000 to that one guy. So consistency is the key. The way it works on social media is that a lot of it is based on networking. It's like who you know, who you collab with. But also a lot of it is based on luck and the algorithm. And the way to get the algorithm to work in your favor is to constantly keep at it until it finally works, right? So like the moment that it actually works, you strike it big. So yeah, I mean, God, there was another guy that could have had it all, but unfortunately he decided to waste it. And the reason for this is because he didn't listen to me. It's like, look, if you don't listen to me, you'll never make it big. It's as simple as, right? So you gotta pay attention. He had like this, like when the VTuber stuff happened and I started raiding a couple of VTubers, this guy was streaming to like, I don't know, like 5 people or some shit like this. And I went in there, I raided him, people started giving him money, the guy was crying, he called his mom to tell his mom that he actually got a lot of donations. The mother didn't even believe him, like she didn't know that he's legit. I think like, yeah, it was like a black guy using a basic VTuber avatar. And he made like $300 that stream, right? Because we raided him. At the time I had like more viewers. And he went from like 2 viewers to 600. And anyway, I told him, it's like, okay, your name is way too difficult. He had like a name like RK754 Gaming. And I'm like, you need to make a name that's more easy to remember, because like people that will like your content, they will see your channel and they will not remember the name to put it into the search bar the next time. The second one, the advice is that his entire stream had text to speech, and I was telling him, it's like, if you have like 10 people going into the chat and talking, they will not hear what you have to say because the fucking annoying text to speech is there. So only use text to speech to super chat. And he got really offended that I gave him this advice, and he got really upset. And I was like, you know what, like, fine. I mean, it's your channel. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, it's whatever. And yeah, he didn't manage to grow. Like he managed to get a couple of viewers. He went from 3 viewers all the way to a consistent 50. And then he went back to 3. Like, well, it is what it is. That's what subscription is for. Yeah. It's like the text-to-speech thing is fine if you use it sparingly, and you should use it for super chats. You should use it for, like new subscribers, stuff like that. But you should never use text-to-speech to read the entire chat. I think he was doing it because he didn't have the skill to read the chat and talk at the same time. Like, it's actually very difficult to do. Especially when you're reading the chat and you're playing a video game. But yeah. Anyway, Elden Ring comes out, and the new Elden Ring DLC apparently is getting mixed reviews. So let me show you, because this is actually fascinating. It's weird to see a Dark Souls-like game getting so little reviews. I gotta say something, chat. I'm starting to think that these types of games are a little bit overhyped. It's literally the same fucking game since Dark Souls. They keep remaking it. But everything else is shit, so like this game looks good by comparison. But it's got mixed reviews, right? So this is actually very, very weird. And looking at the reviews, there's some camera glitches and there's some stuttering. And it's like, okay, if that's the case, it's fine. But there's also other reviews that are like, it's too hard. My god, the game is too hard. I can't get the past boss. It's way too hard. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, why do you want an easy game to finish, huh? Like, if the game is hard, that's an actual bonus that you get more game time in it. Do you want a game that you blaze through it and you finish it in 2 minutes? And then you feel as if the money you spent is wasted? Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Oh my god, it's too hard. And it's too hard. Dodging is hard. Rolling is hard. To be fair, I didn't like the horse mechanic in Elden Ring. Like, a lot of people did like it, but the horse mechanic is shit. And what's even more shit is the horse combat. It's not that it's hard, it's that the moveset of the bosses is lame and not fun. I don't fucking know. I guess. I haven't played, I want to play it. It's on my to-do list. I got a huge backlog of games that I want to play. But I am unironically busy. And at the moment I finish launching my game, holy shit, I can finally play Lies of P. The first game that I want to play, Lies of P. And then I'll play the Elden Ring. And then I'll play the new DLC from Pathfinder, Wrath of Righteous. And then I'll play some Age of Empires, which I'm playing actually right now. Like, Age of Empires is a really cool game. I like it. A lot of people don't, but like, whatever. It's not even a boss they're stuck on. It's an optional mini-boss. Then it doesn't fucking make sense. Like, I remember Bloodborne, right? Like, Bloodborne releases his DLC, and I forgot the name of the first boss in the Hunter's Dream. And my god, like, that boss was an asshole. Like, I actually had to spend a significant amount of time. But eventually, you know what? I defeated the boss. Like, most of the Dark Souls games, by the way, there's a trick to it. Number one, it's called co-op. But, like, if you don't want to cheese it with co-op, which I respect, you can just grind. Like, unironically, you can grind in Dark Souls. Like, most like other RPGs, you just fucking grind and grind. And then when you go to BTFO the boss, you're OP, right? So you can actually do it. It's not really that challenging. Most of the bosses have predictable movesets. Yeah, Ludwig. Okay. Now, you get this Hunter's Dream Ludwig shit, and DSP, my fucking god, like, he gets stuck at Ludwig, and he tries, and then he gives up and uninstalls the game. And I was like, I guess, like, maybe the developers were a little bit of a dick that putting Ludwig as literally the first boss, because the other bosses aren't as hard as Ludwig, right? So I was like, okay, well, maybe Ludwig should have been, like, the third boss or something. Like, let the people ease up into the DLC rather than just, like, BTFO them from the beginning. Dude, it's a skill issue. Months before, I'm going to be over leveled for this DLC first boss. Allow me to introduce myself. LOL. You play? I thought you don't play. I thought you're too fucking busy. Now I find out you play video games. I'm trying to convince American Outlier to do anime reviews. I can't say why I think that he would be a great fit for doing anime reviews, because that would be racismus. But I do think he has it in him. I think he was destined for it. Yeah, if you say it's destiny, maybe it's different, right? So it's not anything to do with ethnical backgrounds or shit like. No, it's destiny. He is destined to do anime reviews, and I think like he would do them quite well. I think if he makes a YouTube channel where he does anime reviews, he would get at least 100,000 subscribers in the first year. Hands fucking down. There's no fucking way he won't. You've been gatekept. Yeah, no, I get it, but like, it's just a difficulty curve, right? Because like you would expect that after Ludwig, the other bosses are hard too. But no, Ludwig is literally the hardest one, and I think like the one at the end of the DLC is also somewhat hard. But like if you beat Ludwig, you probably just beat the DLC. Bloodborne for PC when? I think it's based on their contract, really. I think that they signed some sort of contract that gives Sony exclusivity. I don't know, like usually contracts can't be signed in perpetuity, right? So for some reason, the other games came out on PC, but this one didn't. And the thing is, like, at this point, unless they make, like, a Bloodborne remake or something like that, where they update the graphics and make everything great and all the characters have pronouns and the women look like men, unless they do that, I don't think the game would sell on PC. Because by now, most people have played it on consoles. And the ones that didn't would see a game that looks like shit, graphically speaking. Like, it's very outdated. It's got really old graphics. Actually, what the fuck am I talking about? Hold on a little bit. Like, we're in 2025 where all games look like shit. So Bloodborne might actually be presentable. Man, let me look at the gameplay of the Bloodborne. Shush.
What is happening, y'all?
Hey, shut up. Nothing's happening. I'm looking at your video, looking at the gameplay. Why the fuck is a game that's older than 7 years look better than the Suicide Squad and the other shit that's coming out today? Why is this game from so long ago having a level of graphical fidelity that is compatible, if not even better, than the video games that are coming out now? Like, sure, you know, I would say the blood could use a little bit of polish, right? And the corpses shouldn't animate like that. But have you guys seen the Dragon Age new game, right? Like the Dragon Age trailer? It looks kind of like this. Like, you know, just a little bit different, I suppose. Like, you could say, like, the new one looks a little bit more shit than this. But, like, fuck me. I didn't expect this, you know, because, like, usually when you play a video game and it's been, like, 5 or 10 years, you kind of remember it differently than it is. Like I have gone back into the past and played some old games, and it's like, wow, these games look like shit now. But at the time, they were amazing, right? Like Prince of Persia, for instance. Like, I remember playing Prince of Persia Sands of Time, and at the time, I was like, wow, this game is mind-blowing. Like, it's got such amazing graphics. But if you play it now, it looks like shit. So I was assuming that is the same thing that's going to happen here, but no. Bloodborne has issues where it runs on very low resolution at 30 FPS. It looks worse in real life? Ah. Well, I assume if they make it for a computer, they can remove that technical limitation, because like that technical limitation of 30 FPS is probably for the consoles, right? Yeah, I think it's like 10 years ago or something. Like when did it come out? I think it came out when PlayStation 4 came out. Like, it was one of those games that were trying to convince you to buy the PS4. By the way, the thing with Dr. Disrespect, right? Like, this is what I don't get. If it's a criminal thing, like he is basically soliciting minors, right? Like, this is criminal, it's not civil. Isn't Twitch obligated to notify the authorities? And if Twitch notifies the authorities, wouldn't that go public? Like, unironically, I'm trying to understand the situation, but it's so fucking bizarre. Well, what are people saying about it? Let me look at the comment section. I'm actually curious. Like, this is it's just, you know, on one hand it would show that I'm right, and I called it when it happened, but on the other hand it just feels really fishy. It just feels like really fishy. Like, a lot of people are saying that the guy is the Twitch employee, and he's making it up. Which, if it's the case, I hope he's got some really strong lawyers. And if it's not the case, why is Dr. Disrespect not just saying, well, this is bullshit? This is bullshit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Show receipts. Where did I ever say that? Why are you suggest? Right? Like, if someone came to me and said, like, V, we got logs of you talking to such and such, and I'll be like, what the fuck are you smoking? I never interact with people under the age of 18. Like, show me the logs, show me the receipts, right? Like, this is how you talk if you're sure that you never did something like that. Someone said it's up to Ismail Ramsey to open a legal investigation into the matter. A criminal investigation can be launched after a civil case is resolved. The District Attorney of Northern California has discretion here, and it is one of the most powerful legal positions of the United States. Ismail decides who is investigated, prosecuted, and who is not. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that it is possible that Twitch did announce the authorities, but the authorities chose not to press charges. Like, they... I guess, like, the way it works is that the authorities want to know that they will win the case, right? Because every single investigation costs money to make. And as a prosecutor, you want to pick those investigations that are going to end up with closed cases, right? So what they're saying is that maybe the logs weren't that compromised. Like, they were enough to compromise someone in the public sphere, but, like, not enough to get a court conviction. I mean, I guess, but... Why is Twitch just... I don't know, man. It's just weird. But yeah, like, people want to see the evidence. My Wild Theory says DJ Giovanni, he got caught texting a minor, but whatever was said wasn't enough to press charges. Twitch banned him, but can't say why because they risk a defamation lawsuit. See, this may actually be true. This may unironically be a satisfactory explanation. The world has gone mad. Some time ago, too many DA and judges dictating what was actually illegal now. No. Like, the prosecutors always, and in most countries, decide what they prosecute and what they don't. Normally, in a healthy society where crime is kept at a low, the prosecutor usually prosecutes as much as they can. But in a society where crime is skyrocketing, then you actually don't have the resources to prosecute everything. So then the prosecutors have to choose the cases that they know are going to give them convictions. Like, if the case is flimsy or there's not enough evidence, then they may actually choose not to prosecute. Unfortunately, however, what's happening in the United States is not even that. Unfortunately, you get prosecutors that are ideologically possessed, and they prosecute based off their ideological lens. So even if they were to have, like, enough evidence to get a case to be shot and just follow with a conviction, if their ideology says that, no, actually, you know what, we shouldn't prosecute this, then they don't. The perfect example of this is in the Batman comic. Now, take into account that comic books are written by actual people, ideologues, and they use Batman as a VTuber in this situation. So what you're getting in the comic is literally the opinions of the author, which is a left-leaning individual. And it shows exactly how these people think. So in this comic, Batman is on the city streets, and there's a riot. Like, Joker started this riot, and everyone is looting and stealing. It's very similar to the 2020 American riots. I think, like, the author even wanted to compare it with that, right? So you have, like, people breaking into stores, stealing televisions, like, doing all this shit. And Batman says that he is not going to stop them because he doesn't want to judge these people. These people are poor and impoverished. And, you know, like them stealing is basically them lashing out at the system. And who is Batman to decide? This is the opinion of the author. Like, you need to understand, there is no Batman. There are no riots. But there is an author that wrote that piece. And in his mind, it is acceptable for people that he considers to be unrepresented or minorities or marginalized to commit criminal acts. And he also thinks that if that happens, they shouldn't be punished. Right? So when you have a person that thinks like this becoming a judge or a prosecutor, that's when you get the United States of America right now. And that's when you get the Blue Cities and the Summer of Love and the Quiles. Yes. So yeah, like regarding like prosecutors choosing what to prosecute, it's probably like that. And they also, like, sometimes they may take into account, okay, well, this is a millionaire, right? Like, there's going to be public backlash and scandals, and they may hire, like, a team of lawyers and judges, and do we really want the hassle? Unfortunately, they think like that. Whether they're right or not, I don't know, but it's what happens when there's so much crime that the justice system gets strained for resources. Like, in a society where there isn't a lot of crime, then it's easy to prosecute everything. But in a society like California, where, you know, like there was the dog walker. I mean, this just blew my mind when I found out. The dog walker of Lady Gaga got shot. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would the dog walker of Lady Gaga get shot? Well, apparently, they wanted to steal the dog. And I was like, oh, so they thought that it's Lady Gaga's dog and they were going to get money for it? No. They literally just saw that it's a dog and they thought they would sell it. So I looked up the breed, and apparently a dog like that is around $500. Now you're probably going to sell it for even less because, number one, you can't prove the pedigree. Number two, it was already an adult dog, right? So like usually people who buy breeds of dogs and are willing to pay like $500 for it, they go to a licensed breeder. They usually buy a puppy, and they also buy one with a pedigree, right? So, like, if you don't have these things, you might as well just get a dog from the streets and sell it. This is literally the same. So like, these individuals, like, they just shot someone over something of so little value that they're never going to be able to fence it. It's just, like, the most insane thing ever, right? Like, a human life for them was worth less than $500. And that's California. That is the state of California. And by the way, there were 3 people, right? So, like, let's assume for the sake of the argument that the dog would have been worth $500. It's $500 divided by 3. So, like, each of them would have got, I don't know, like 175 or something like that, 150, whatever the fuck is. But like, it's insane. Absolutely insane, right? So, a human life for them was worth less than $150. What else are we talking about? Like, what else can we say? They returned the dog and are now suing for the reward? No fucking way. But again, like, this was happening in the rich part of California. Like, I don't even think we get to see in the news what happens in the impoverished part of California. I don't think I even want to know. But yeah, no, like, this is why it shocked me, because I generally, like, don't care about statistics and charts, and they're not very down to earth, you know? You just take one of these cases and you analyze it, and it's basically like, how often does the media talk about it, like how sensational it is, and then you think about it, okay, well, if this happened, what conclusion can be drawn from it? And the conclusion is that there are people in California who think that a human life is worth less than $150, and they're willing to shoot people in order to steal a dog. And that's California. Like, there is no public, there's no national outcry. Like, if this happened in Romania, massive national outcry, massive outrage, you know, like it would have been on the news 24/7, basically. You can see the homeless in San Francisco living on the street. It's not far away from the rich areas. Wasn't actually the plot of RoboCop that the privately owned police force wasn't dealing with crime as to drive up the property prices so that the OCP could buy up the entire city? That was actually a very famous plot in a lot of movies in the 90s because they also had like a little bit of political correctness back then. Hold on, I got like a very ushikushi image. I think I can show this actually. Right. So I can show you something from American Outliers manga. He has been a subscriber of the show for I think it's more than a year now, and he's making a comic. Right? Hold on. Let me just zoom in on this, and it looks like this. I don't know if this is from the actual official one or it's just fan art, but I really like how the artist drew the reflection, and you get to see like the cyber spinal thing here. I don't know what it's called. It's probably triggering American Outlier that I don't know what it's called. But the story is about this taking place in the future, and these ladies are mercenaries. They're fused with symbiotes. I guess you can compare it with Venom from Spider-Man. And some of them do jobs for the government. Some of them are villains. They're really ushikushi. They got swords and shit. It's really cool. And I'm also making a collab with him for my game. I'll announce more of that in the upcoming weeks because the art is still drawn, and after that we're going to animate it. So yeah. When he actually releases the comic, I will sell it. Sorry, I will sell it. I will promote it. It is nice. Yes, it is nice. The comic is sorry, the comic. It is a fucking comic. I refuse to call it a manga. He's American. He can only make comics. Japanese people make mangas. It's called We're Fighting For. So look about it on Twitter, and you'll find his Twitter account, and do subscribe to him. See, the thing is, like, everyone is behaving now as if you show like the most lewd thing ever imaginable, but like in the 90s, this was expected. Like, unironically, every single comic book in the 90s, every single TV show that was rated T14s had superheroes that looked like this. Like this was the norm. This was the standard. And you know why? I will even tell you why. Because I actually speak with people from DC Comics. The reason they would draw them like this is because it actually took less time to draw them, right? Like if you want to draw clothes, especially if you draw like different fabrics and stuff that's difficult to draw, it takes a lot longer, right? So if you have like an issue a month and you have a team of artists and they have to draw it like every single month, doing like this body type thing where like this body paint stuff was very easy, right? Because it's literally the same stuff that you're drawing all the time. Like, once you learn the anatomy and you learn how the abs and the muscles are, you can just mass produce it and mass draw it. And sometimes you can even reuse it. You just change the facial features, right? So, back in the day, it was actually a reason of cutting down expensive. And the animations was a lot easier to do, right? Because if you're doing animations and you have like a cape or you got like a dress or something like that, it's more difficult to animate it. But if you're just having like the superhero in a body tight suit, then it's a lot easier. Yeah, that is definitely why Spawn's cape was awesome, yeah. Literally, American Outlier is giving people what they want. Yeah. Hold on, he's probably screaming at me on Discord. Let me check. No, he isn't. Somebody else wants to contact me. Right, where are her clothes? It's a parasite, a living parasite latched into her skin, covering everything that needs to not be seen. By the way, there's another character that kind of looks like this. I mean, it's not that it looks like this. It's still like the Venom stuff. Kaisa from League of Legends. American Outlier, if you're still here, look at Kaisa from League of Legends. She's actually pretty cool. Mystique. Yeah, Mystique had the same shit. But like her ability was a little bit different. Though I think in one of the movies, the X-Men movies, they gave her the ability where like her skin would just go up, you know, like this is similar to like Venom. Well, of course you can't find him on YouTube. He's not a YouTuber. Hasn't started his anime reviews yet. You can find him on Twitter. And sometimes in my chat, he does partake in a lot of the conversations here. Anyway. Yeah, League of Legends, it still exists. Apparently, it's really trash tier now. Like what they're doing, when I found out, I couldn't believe it, so I had to look. But every now and then, they remake a hero, right? So, like, they take a champion that was already made, and they give it an update. And what they're doing is, like, they're making those characters more masculine. So, like, they will take a female character and give her the male jawline every single fucking time. And I'm like, but you do realize that people were buying the skins with the most feminine characters. Like, if a character had big tits and plump ass, people would buy that skin. And you can see with the new Ahri, like the new Ahri skin, which is like $500 or some madness like that, she's got like B-sized breasts. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Dude, like, if you were to make a 10 out of 10 hot waifu, and you'd have charged, like, if you made Stellar Blade, right, and you charged like $500 for it, people wouldn't complain. I guarantee to you. Yeah, like, everyone is buying the new, everyone is banning the new Ahri skin, right? So, like, let's look at the Ahri skin, the $500 one, which, to be honest, it's not really that great compared to some of the other ultimate skins that they had. Because they used to have, like, many skins in the past that were ultimate, and they were, like, really expensive. And the idea was, like, not everyone had to get it, right? So, if you had it, it was like, wow, you're really amazing for having it. And Ahri is supposed to be a very sexual character, right? Like her whole shtick is that she's pretty much like a succubus from my game. Like she's incredibly alluring, incredibly attractive, and she soul drains, right? So, like, if you fall in love with her and she gives you like that kiss or whatever, she then life drains and leaves you dead. So it's like the femme fatale type of thing, the poison ivy trope, right? But in order for that to work, like, she's gotta be drop dead gorgeous. And honestly, like, for $500 a skin, I expect her to come out of the screen and suck my dick. Like, there's no way I'm spending $500. And look at it, right? Like, it's not really bad. I mean, I have seen worse, to be honest, right? Like, the manly jawline isn't there, but she's got no breasts. It's like the entire thing, she's covered up. And now let's compare it to a cheaper skin that came out a couple of years ago. And look at it, it's like, she's got like these long legs, she's got like big booba, she's boobylicious. Like, and this one is actually cheaper, right? This is maddening. Same with this. Look at the legs. Right? And this one, which is $500. Again, like, for $500, I expected her to come out of the monitor and give me a blowjob. There's no fucking way I would pay $500 just to have her banned by some twat. Someone in the chat says, I am from impoverished California. Got to see 2 people murdered before I was out of grade school. Believe it or not, I never actually got to see that, thank God. And I'm really happy that I probably will never have to see something like that. Hopefully I didn't jinx it, but yeah. Yeah, literally her base outfit, which is free. Well, I mean, depending what you mean by free, because you still gotta purchase the champion, right? But you can get it for free if you farm. Her base outfit is more lewd than the $500 one. And the thing is, like, the $500 one isn't really that great. I mean, okay, so, we're going to compare it with some of the other ultimates. So they're called ultimate skins, right? And ultimate skins are the ones that are the most expensive skins in the game. Obviously, this one is beyond ultimate, I guess.
Prices for the faker skins, and oh boy, this is...
And I mean, if you haven't played League of Legends, and you just see this, it looks like just like a regular skin.
going to be interesting. So we got 4 skins after all. There is only a blank skin that
Okay,
is in
shush. I'm going to show you now the misfortune skin. Jesus, $500 for this. Holy shit. So misfortune ultimate skin. So basically the reason this one is expensive is that you actually get like 4 different skins into one. So when you start the game, you can choose like different outfits and all of them are sexualized. Which by the way should be desirable rather than rejected. It's a fucking video game. If you can't sexualize in a video game, where can you sexualize? So look at this. So she's got this cool mech, right? And again, there's 4 skins, not just one. And I don't know how much this costs, but it's definitely below $500. I think it's like $40 or something. Like, it's still expensive, but it's considered to be like one of the most the ultimate skin series were the most expensive in the game. And it was on purpose, because not everyone had to have it, right?
The human spine is 18 inches long and easily shattered by weapons fire.
Thank you, EXO.
You are welcome.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know who's in charge of their marketing team or who thought it's a good idea, but it is what it is. When I played Smite back then, Thor had a multi-stage Gundam skin that started you from pilot outfit and upgraded it to full Gundam. Yeah, like... The reason that they're saying it's so expensive is because allegedly, I think like half the money goes to Faker, right? Like Faker signed the contract with them. So by using his name, he gets like half the royalties. But like, I don't fucking care. And the funny thing about it is that the guy Faker, he never uses skins. Like, he goes out of his way to make a point that he never wants to use skins. Like, even the only time he used the skin was at a tournament and he clicked by accident. But like, other than that, he always plays with the same skin. So like, to make this is just very bizarre. Not a banned account. Sorry for not reading your super chat. Holy shit, I genuinely didn't see it. Do you support NATO openly declaring war on Putin? Did they? Hold on, let me check. I think it's a loaded question. I don't see anything about it. Yeah, like my assessment on it is that obviously I do not want the conflict to escalate. I think nuclear war is bad. I think mutually assured destruction is still a thing. I do not want to live in a world of nuclear holocaust. I do not want my child to risk going to war. So, no, if NATO were to... Like, first of all, actually, like, NATO cannot openly declare war, right? Like, it's a defensive alliance. The only way it can happen is if Russia actually attacks a NATO member, which I don't think they will. So, yeah, no, I do not support that. What do you mean it's... Yes, but it's not main news? Like, are you crazy? Like, if this actually happened, it would be on every single television everywhere. Like if NATO were to declare war on Russia, like, it would be on CNN, on MSNBC, on Fox News. Literally every single outlet would talk about it. So if I don't see that, then there's 2 possibilities. Number 1, it's fake news. Number 2, a person that's not in authority, that's not in power, said something off the cuff. Just like when I asked Dev if he'd support conscription from Western countries if it came to it, and he sidestepped it by saying He doesn't think it'll come to conscription. Well, Dev is a not in my backyard type of guy. But in the situation of me, like, it's literally in my backyard. And I keep saying it, like, hopefully the conflict will end soon. I generally do not enjoy knowing that there's people killing each other next door. You know? And not only that, I don't want it to escalate. Probably Justin Trudeau running his mouth, but Justin Trudeau doesn't own Russia. Yeah, so no, I don't think the super chat is correct. I don't think that NATO has declared war on Russia. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats. And go watch the Archcast. I think it's on now, so go see that. Take care.